When I was a little kid, the two things I loved the most in life were Godzilla and the NES games. So naturally, when Godzilla Monster of Monsters came out, it was like a dream come true. Well, almost. To sum it up, most of the game revolves around getting through very repetitive outer space levels while smashing up tanks and jets, and then fighting against Godzilla's monster enemies. Overall, it was pretty mediocre, but back then, I didn't care. When I got the game as a present on my 10th birthday, I played it day and night, as much as I could. Unfortunately, I had to trade the game for, uh, Armagon a year later, much to my regret when I found out what the game was like. Well, recently, I had bought a new NES system, and through a lot of hunting and a lot of asking around, my friend Billy finally managed to find me a copy of Godzilla Monster of Monsters. I was pumped to play my favorite childhood game. It had never occurred to me to ask where Billy found it. He also gave me some other games like Legend of Zelda, Bomberman, and something stupid called Action 52, but Godzilla had to come first. So I started the game, and nostalgia came flooding back to me like a tidal wave. Godzilla's 8-bit theme song flooded proudly through the speakers, and I was soon grinning like an idiot. Some people laughed at me for playing such outdated games, but I never had so much enjoyment for any other games other than the NES. Those 8-bit games take me back to when things were much simpler, more safe. But after what happened with this game, I don't have those feelings anymore. Not anymore. I have forgotten how much the fun of smashing things as Godzilla wore off in the scrolling levels. The game bombardiers you with bullets and things crashing into you from any direction, and you're too big to avoid most of those. Although my excitement had worn down some, it wasn't long at all before I got to my first boss battle. My very first opponent was Gizora, an obscure squid kaiju who had never been in the Godzilla movie. The most annoying thing about fighting Gizora is that he always backs you into a corner and starts smacking you with his tentacle, and you're unable to move until he gets off you. Now, this move doesn't do any damage, but it can stall you until the timer runs out and you have to start the fight over and he regains some health. It's as annoying as it sounds, and of course, he did it when I fought him. Only for some reason this caused the game to glitch up, because once he started smacking me, he never stopped. The timer is supposed to end the fight after 40 seconds, but this lasted nearly 5 minutes. After a while, the graphics started to mess up with little red blocks all over the space, which was weird. But I just took the game out, blew on it, and then started again. I wasn't about to let a little glitch stand in my way. So I started again, and this time I defeated Gizora and the level's other boss monster, Mogora, without any problems. So then it was into the next planet, Mars. I browsed around the board and found something unexpected. Where Varen's piece should have been, there was instead a piece representing Titanosaurus. There was only 10 kaijus in this game, and Titanosaurus was not one of them. Or so I thought. Perhaps Titanosaurus was originally intended to be in the game but was swapped out with Varen for some reason. So I began to feel very excited. Not only was I playing my favorite game, but I was playing a prototype of some sort with a new monster. Needless to say, I ran through that level as fast as I could just to see Titanosaurus in action. Fought Gizora again, beat him before he could do that tentacle smack, but this time the glitch started happening when he died. Gizora's sprite didn't sink to the bottom, but instead seemed to be devoured by the glitch, and his eyes started randomly spawning all over the screen. I know now that this glitch of Gizora was my first warning sign that something was very wrong with this game, but foolishly I ignored it and proceeded to fight Mogora. Mogora was twice the size as he should have been, which startled me a little. He was also considerably harder to beat than usual, which is to say not at all. But soon I had to defeat him also, and when he died yet another glitch happened. This happened extremely fast, so I was lucky to get the screen cap of it all. But what happened was that the giant Mogora sprite started to shatter and melt. Also, if you look at the garbled text at the right corner of the screen, you'll notice what appears to be a bird in a cage. I still have no idea what that meant. At this point, I was about to fight Titanosaurus, and I was worried as to what kind of glitches would have happened this time. But to my surprise, Titanosaurus looks just fine. Although all the game's bipedal monsters were the same height, Titanosaurus was a bit taller. But since Titanosaurus actually was taller than Godzilla in his first debut, I thought it was kind of cool. After a very fun fight with the monster that wasn't supposed to be in the game, I took over the enemy base and proceeded not to Jupiter like normal, but instead to Pathos.